So fun to be able to like talk face to face.
I know, it's so fun.
I know, I love it.
I also like Zoom because then you don't get as distracted. There we go. Hi, everybody. We are live for HEAL Profoundly Enduringly. I'm so excited to have Lindsay Dam here today. Hi, Lindsay.
Hi, oh my gosh, I'm so happy to be here.
So happy to have you. I'm going to introduce you in just a second. I just want people to know what this show is for people who don't know. And this is really a show about bringing forward deep ways for you to heal yourself that are long lasting. And my goal with this show is to not only offer practices to people, but those tangible skills that they can implement as soon as they get off of here. And so I'm so grateful to all of you who are joining me in this. And let me tell you a little bit about Lindsay because she's phenomenal and fabulous. And I'm so excited to have her energy with us today. She's an energy and frequency mentor, and she helps women become more of who they are so they can experience the level of wealth, luxury, and freedom that their heart desires. And she's going to talk to us today about coming home to soul. And I can tell you by joining a couple of her programs that she truly, truly does this, not only for herself, but for her clients. So thank you for being here and doing this work and listening to the call.
Oh my gosh, I am so, I'm like, well, I think you're talking to them, but I'm so happy to be here. I'm just jumping right in. I'm like, oh my God, we were talking right before you joined line. I'm like, I love that we get to be face to face and like have a conversation in this era of live streaming, which is amazing and I love, right? But this is just such a beautiful way to be able to connect and combine our energies. So thank you for having me.
You're so welcome. And those of you who are here, please say hello. Let us know where you're tuning in from. We always like to know, where our soul family is collaborating. It just helps us in our human brains to be able to connect with one another and to really feel like we're all part of the same, right? So I have a quick question for you, Lindsay, before we get started, which is, what do you think is necessary for people to heal the most profoundly and enduringly?
I think that's a twofold answer. First of all, the willingness, like really just having the willingness is the most important step, right? You talk to people who are, have friends who are struggling with addiction, and it's like they want to help their friends, but I'm like, they have to want to help themselves, right? And I think we've all like heard that conversation, but deep within ourselves with that healing, to be able to look at our shadows and be able to look at our wounds and our own patterns. It's the willingness. Like we have to have the willingness. And then secondly, to help continue the willingness, because sometimes it's ugly, unsexy work for sure, is I think having a desire or a vision for your life. Because in those moments where you're just like, why am I even doing this? And you're bawling and like snot's running down your nose or whatever moment you're going through, right? It's great to have a reminder of why you're doing this. And so I think having the willingness and then having like, not so much an end goal, because there's never like an end, but a place where you desire to go or desire to be.
Yeah, I love that so much because it is a choice, right? It is a decision to have this willingness and kind of make this commitment or devotion, as you would say, to yourself, right? Like definitely making that. But then there's so many people that say, well, great, I made the decision, but now I don't have the motivation to move forward. And that's where the vision is key, because it's like, what is in your heart? And I know that you practice heart coherence a lot and teaching people to really connect to that part of you, so what would you say is the catalyst to, or what has been your catalyst to kind of like connecting to that heart space and coming back to yourself in that way?
Well, this has been such a journey, and and it still is. It's an ongoing, ever evolving journey. But I think the seed was planted probably about 15 years ago, where I was doing a trade with my personal healer. We're friends, and he was the first person who could get to the core of my heart, and I could feel it, and my heart was like so locked up, right? And he was like, oh, you have that really locked up in there. And I was like, yep. And we are not touching it. And it took me, we were just doing like half-hour little trades with each other, and he got right there. And it was about 10 years later, maybe not quite a decade later. My son was about 1 year old, and I was, doing a lot of journaling work, and, I was working through a lot of emotions and density and trauma and stuff like that. And I had this moment where I realized I did not love myself.
Mhm.
And I looked at my beautiful, baby boy, and I was like, how can I ever love him to the depth that he deserves if I can't love myself? And that was the moment where I called my friend Lincoln, who was the only person, and I've been an energy healer professionally for 20 years. He's the only person that was ever able to get to that place and so fast. And I called him right away, and I was like, Lincoln, I'm ready. And he was like, great, for what? He had no memory of, he remembered the trade, but like that impacted me 10 years, or so prior. And so I started doing that work and doing some deep journeying and deep healing. And this has really been the focus of my work for the last few, really bringing it to my clients for the last 2 years or more, because I had to do work for myself too. So, and that was the kind of the defining moment, and really having that willingness and that vision, right? The vision for the level of love that, I desire in my life. And I know that it starts with me. And so, yeah, that was really profound.
I love that so much too, because, self-care has become such a freaking buzzword. Like it's such a buzzword to take care of ourselves. And there's a real difference between self-care and like deeply immersing yourself in your essence. There's a huge difference.
I call
I,
that soul care.
yes. Like
Yeah.
I was doing a lot of soul care. I was doing a lot of it. I mean, sorry, self-care. I was doing a lot of it, but it was, and it wasn't just checking off my list. Like, okay, I got that done. Now I can move on and do whatever else I have to do. It wasn't
Right.
just, but it wasn't to the level of depth that I continue to get further and further into, right? There is
Yeah.
a huge difference in that. It's so much more restorative.
Yes. Yes. It's so much more restorative. And it's, self-care, and not to take away the incredible importance and need for self-care. It all goes hand in hand. But if you're just doing that, it's impactful for your physical body, but not as much for all of your other bodies, right? You've got your emotional body, your mental body, your spiritual body, you've got your entire astral body. And that's so necessary to work on as well. So you're getting all the layers when you combine the two. And yeah, it's so, and there's always deeper levels, there's always deeper layers. The thing that I've been working on a lot, and again, we were talking about this a little bit before the call, but I made a post yesterday that was talking about the sisterhood wound and the betrayals that I've had throughout my entire life, and then how they've impacted me in my business. And it all comes from this seed of trust, right?
Mhm.
And so really working on, and this has been, right, it's not like you talked about a decision, right? It's not like all of a sudden I'm going to be like, I'm going to trust everybody, I'm going to trust all women, which is where the source of most of my betrayal has been, right, throughout my life, and or men, right? Like, and it's just like, no, you don't do that. It's a process. It's a process. And you talked about the word, if I may, because I like to ramble and just go on riffs.
Oh yeah,
But
go. Yeah.
you talked about the word, like the decision. It's a decision. And this is something, it took me a long time to really figure this out. My very first coach, she was like, Lindsay, you're not making the money because you haven't decided to. You have to decide to. And I was like, how? I'm paying you. I'm bawling my eyes out in my journal every day. I'm showing up. Like, how have I not decided? And that sat with me for so long, well after we finished our work together. And I was just like, what is it? And it didn't hit me until last year. So like 3 years it took me to formulate my own kind of method for how to decide. And I realized that a decision is not something you make once and then it's done, right? It's
Right.
also a seed. You have to sometimes decide 100 times a day to do something, right?
Yep.
Like,
Oh,
and maybe it's like, I said I'm gonna make water, drink water. So you got to have the water bottle and the glass and the whatever. Or if you decided that you're going to make some, nutritional changes, right? It's day after day after day after day. And sometimes moment after moment after moment after moment. And that's where having that vision comes in again. So that really, like, I discovered that consequently last December, which is when I tripled my income and, had a $40,000 month, 40 plus over $40,000 a month. And it was like, oh, because I just decided to over and over and over and over again and made that commitment. And so, and it all marries so well with that trust, that seed of trust, ultimately trusting yourself and, and also trusting yourself to go in and do that work, that soul work and that
well, that's what
self-care.
I
And
was gonna say. When you
yes,
dive into all those yummy layers, what it does is it provides that solid foundation for
yeah,
you to be able to hold that decision, because that's one of the key pieces, with the motivation we were talking about. You make that choice, but so many people think that, yeah, you make that choice and then who's going to guide me through? I find that's a huge difference, like from coming from the traditional mental health world, is there was a
yes.
lot of like, quick fix mentality.
Mhm.
There was like, okay, give me a tool. Give me a tool now. That like meet my crisis with my magic immediately. You
Yes.
know, and unfortunately, that's actually effective, but it's only a band-aid. You know what I mean? And so it's like, great, that feels good in the moment, and I'm glad that makes you feel good. But ultimately, there's no staying power to that, because you need to show yourself that you are so devoted that you are going to show up 100 times a day if you need to
Yeah.
remember that and bring yourself back on course. And it's funny because I did it for a couple of years before all of a sudden I was like, oh, it's automatic. It's automatic. It's all coming in automatically. And I was like, oh, it's so nice.
It's amazing. It's so amazing. And, I love what you said that because we are such a Band-Aid culture. It's like
Oh,
slap a Band-Aid on. It's such a Band-Aid culture. And I experienced a lot of that in my previous business as a body worker. And, and I did a lot of therapeutic work and working in a doctor's office. And so there was a lot of that mentality. But the people who do the exercises and do the stretches, guess what? Right? They have long lasting results. And yeah, I think it's really important to recognize that it is a Band-Aid society and actual healing work, right? That's what I love about this work, because it's transformative. And that word is also very overused. And I think the real power and essence of it is so diluted and watered down now. But in this realm that we're actually like working in and facilitating for ourselves and for other people, it's that like true transformation, really shifting from the inside out. And that's what creates that long lasting result and a true difference in and of ourselves and of our lives. And it's so beautiful to witness.
yeah. And that's what I love about you, is that, in your programs, you're not just saying, okay, here's this skill, this skill, this skill, this skill, that, you know what I mean? Like, you're not just, what you're doing is you take the time to really explain why it's so important, right? Because
Mm,
we do need the ego buy-in partially, right?
totally.
We need to understand it and believe, we need the belief, right? To believe in it. And then you hold this beautiful space
Mm,
to allow people, that's so safe, to allow people to really move through this at a pace that's very gentle. And I so
thank
appreciate
you.
that. And I love it so much because that's the space people need. And that's
Yeah.
the space people desire and their nervous system requires, to be
Mhm.
able to make these changes and make these decisions without feeling unsafe, without feeling like they're not in good hands. So thank you for that, because you provide that so beautifully.
Oh, thank you so much for saying that. That's such a beautiful, oh, that's so heartwarming and validating, right? Because we need our egos, by the way, everybody. Like our
Yes.
egos are an important part of ourselves. And then we talk down on them a lot, but like we need our egos. And you know, that's very validating and confirming and lovely to hear. So thank you for sharing that. And it is, you know, I really want, the reason I do this work and teaching, like yesterday I started, it was day one of this energetic mastery program, and I was teaching people about energy cords. And I'm like, I'm going to guide you through an experience, because I teach differently than what I like. I went to traditional energy healing school, right? And which is a very kind of traditional format, but I learned how to do energy healing for other people. It took me 15 years to figure out how to do it myself. And that was only when I was faced in the midst of trauma and couldn't afford, you know, anyone to help me. So I had to figure it out myself. But so I really want people to be able to figure out, like even on day one, like this will change your relationships, right? And at least for what we did yesterday and whatever it is in teaching. And yeah, I want you to be able to take the tools, not have to go through an entire integration process, but I want you to understand how it works and how you can apply it. And guess what? You're going to experience that right now. And I don't know, like I have done so many courses, right? And it's like, I don't know a lot of people who do that. And not talking bad on any, because I love, you know, the courses that I take, but it's just, it's a different process. And I think in energy work is so unique, and there's so many layers and facets and modalities. And, you know, everyone has the things that work for them. But I think, yeah, just figuring out how you can apply this for yourself is the most important thing.
I agree with you. And what I love too, so two things on that. One is that, you know, even if you know, like I know how to cut cords, I know how to release cords, I know how to do that stuff. But there's a very big difference between one, me doing it myself and having somebody guide me through it, because that's such a gift to myself. It's so loving to allow myself to be held and to experience it in a different way or at a different frequency from somebody else's perspective, because three people can teach me how to do energy cords and I can feel it differently each time. And that's like how our unique blueprint shows up in each moment, because I'm also changing in each moment, just like you are. And so it's like we get to show up to this work and realize that it gets to be deeper or different or, you know, a little bit to the side than the time before. And it's funny because when I was in my Akashic certification program, you know, the work was the work and I enjoyed it to a degree, but it was the internship that I really loved and sunk into, because that was when I was doing 3 readings by myself for people. And sure, it was a little scary at first because I was like, okay, I hope I know what I'm doing, you know? But it was learning how this integrated with my energy, how it comes forward with my energy, how it uniquely comes through me. And that was where most of the power was. And it actually guided me when I had that realization to extend my Akashic certification program. So there's more integration time in between modules for people to really make this their own and sink into it.
I love that. I love that. And it's so, to piggyback off of that, like when I watch I love your Akashic Records, or like your, like, you know, video and meditation that you sent out. I love that. I do that consistently since you sent it. And I love the energy and the feeling. And I've been trained in doing Akashic readings before in a very different way than what you guide people through. And I think I told you this too, is I have never felt the energy so much as when I do it the way that you guide me through. But it's also so nice. You can go so much deeper when someone's guiding you through it, because you're allowing so much of your own, like you don't have to think. And even though you try not to think, you're still having to like go through a process where so you're able to surrender so much more and just allow, which is, by the way, like I talk about manifesting a lot. And I think, you know, probably a lot of this audience does as well, or creating great transformation. So bringing in the things that we want, you have to just surrender. Like you've got to learn how to surrender, and it's hard in order to be able to allow.
Oh, I know. It's funny because I have my Power of Surrender deck by Judith Orloff.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, Lindsay, if you don't have this one,
I
it's necessary.
don't.
Oh my gosh.
Amazing.
And it's also super simple because there's no card deck. Like it's just, you pull it, and they tell you a few sentences about what you need to surrender that day. And it's beautiful. And I swear to God, I pull this out probably 4 to 5 times a week with myself or my clients, just because there's always new opportunities to surrender. And, we can have blind spots to that with just going through our day to day,
Completely.
Yeah. And so that's one of my questions. I know that you have a little exercise to take us through here so that people can really feel into this. But before we do that, I just want to ask you one more question for people who have trouble kind of getting out of their minds and into their hearts. What do you recommend, or what suggestions do you have before we enter into an exercise? So that might help them a little bit.
I feel like I could teach a whole course on this.
Oh, yeah. Oh, why don't you do it?
I have so many courses coming through right now, but yeah, I'll do something about this, or at least a master class or something, because this is something that I tell, whether I'm doing a free live streaming or, it's in one of my paid programs, or if I'm coaching one of my private clients, I'm like, you're in your head. And when you're in your head, you are not going to receive your heart's desires, right? When you're in your head, your heart is not leading the way, and you can align them both. And that's the key, right? It's not one or the other. The ultimate, the ideal, right? Or the ultimate goal, I'm actually not a big person on goals, but is to align both, because your mind is a superpower. And so is your heart. Your heart is amplifying your energy field. So it's the great amplifier. So if you can have your beliefs and your thoughts and your visions in line with your heart space, now you're going to amplify like crazy. It's beautiful. So the technique that I'm going to do is based off of the heart math, right? The Heart Math Institute's heart space coherence. And this has been such a game changer for me, because it's such a quick, simple way to activate your heart space. And when you're in your head, so I like to give people kind of triggers so they can, in a good way, right? Like triggers so they can understand if they're in their head or in their heart. Because when your ego is, as I call it, being an eggplant, a little eggplant emoji, when your ego is being a dick, it's very difficult sometimes to tell, because you can think that you're acting from your heart when you're really strongly in your ego, right? Your ego is very clever and very sneaky. It's a part of you. Give yourself some credit, right? You're very clever as well. And so I like to give people kind of some triggers. And so if you are having doubt, it's a trigger that you're in your head. Yeah. If you're in fear, it's a trigger that you're in your head. If you are in scarcity or wondering why everything is happening to you, right? A victim state. It's a trigger that in your head. And a lot of those emotions are going to come with those states of being, right? Worry, fear, doubt, shame, scarcity, feeling unseen, unheard, those wounds. That's going to be a sign that you're acting from your headspace. The beautiful thing that I discovered once I really started immersing myself into heart space is that love dissipates and drowns out fear. Shame does not live in love. Worry, doubt, scarcity, they don't live. They, for lack of a better word, drown. I don't think there's a word that really, because they never go away. But it's just an indicator. It's an indicator of where you are. Are you open and activated and connected in here? Or are you elsewhere? Right. And so at the core of all of my work is really helping people reconnect with heart space, and love, the frequency of love. I did a whole program on love. And it's the frequency of love, right? Like this, it's a frequency. It is a vibration,
Yep.
and it's pure unconditional love. And when you learn how to activate this from within, now you can move forth even into that scary unknown,
Right.
feeling safe and abundant, right? It doesn't have to be this wild ride. Like if you see astronauts, going out into orbit and outer space, right? And they're going through all the layers where it's like their faces are like peeling back. Like that's to me what it feels like sometimes when you're going through incredible expansion. And what I've discovered is that with love, with heart, it doesn't have to be that way. And you can move forth even into the unknown, even into discomfort, or you can be in discomfort and feel love and safety and freedom and confidence and joy and bliss, especially in the unknown. And so the technique that I want to share with everyone is how to do that in any given moment. And yeah, it's, for as we're doing the healing, as we're moving into new frontiers, right? You can choose, you can decide how you want to feel. There is safety in the unknown and in discomfort, right? There is love in discomfort and unknown. And it doesn't have to be this intense emotional and energetic roller coaster like I think so many of us go on.
Right. And like you
So
said, like being open, like just open, welcoming and inviting it in with gratitude, because the ego, the doubt, all of those things are cues to return to ourselves.
that's
Cues.
it. They're indicators.
Yes.
So when we look at it like that, instead of something that's trying to run the show, when we
Right.
look at it as that, it's like, oh my gosh, thank you. Thank you, fear. Thank you, doubt.
Yep.
I'm out of my heart. Oh, thank you. Right? You're just a messenger.
Exactly. And thank you, universe, for actually, I always tell my clients too, I'm like, honestly, it's a compliment. I take it as a compliment from the universe, because the universe knows that I'm ready for the next level. The universe knows that I'm ready for the next step. And so whenever that comes in, I'm like, thank you so much. Like, I have no idea what this means or what it looks like yet, but thank you, because you know that I'm ready for the next level, and bring it. I'm excited for it,
Yes. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So,
All right, take us into the yumminess, Lindsay. I want the yumminess.
do you want the yumminess? Okay, I love it. I love it. I love it. So, go ahead and settle in. We're going to do a nice slow rendition of this because it's just so juicy and yummy, right? Like, who doesn't want to start their day with love? Come
Yeah.
on. But this is a technique that you can apply anywhere you are. And I can kind of do a quick overview of that after we do this. But
Okay.
for everybody, go ahead and take a couple of just deep breaths and kind of settle into your body. Really feel where your feet are connecting with the floor, or maybe they're on a stool. Feel the backs of your thighs, your hips, your pelvis. And you can even kind of rock back and forth nice and slowly. If you need to, if you're feeling a little kind of disconnected from your body and want to ground down a little bit more. And what I'm going to have you do is I'm going to have you bring your awareness just to the area of your heart. You can place your hands on your heart if you like. You certainly don't have to. And start taking some slow, deep breaths. Trying to breathe in more deeply and slowly than you normally do. And just find a place, a pace that is comfortable for you. So we're really focusing on slowing down. Now with this next deep breath, try to imagine your breath, this breath of life, flowing into your heart, filling your heart space, breathing in life. breathing out anything that is not heart. And just becoming aware of your physical heart and also the energy of your heart space. You can kind of imagine a little version of you just in the center of this space, breathing nice and slow. Now go ahead and take a moment to think of something or someone you so deeply appreciate. Something that there is zero resistance to appreciating. There are zero conditions. So I really like to go outside of myself for this. Perhaps it's a shooting star you saw at night, or simply a star. Perhaps it's the crisp morning fall air, the smell of the changing of the seasons. The colorful leaves on the fall trees. Something that brings you great joy. And we're going to just take a few moments to really slowly appreciate this moment. This thing that you so deeply love and appreciate. And as you breathe in these feelings of appreciation, you begin to feel your thoughts slow down, your mind slow down, and perhaps a blossoming of warmth and love from the center of your heart space. We're going to go ahead and think of another thing that you deeply appreciate, the smile from your child, a cuddle from your pet. The warmth of a cozy shawl on a cold day. It's something that you just so love. Let's breathe that in. Allow these feelings to begin to pour from your flowing heart, combining with the lymph and your bloodstream, and allow them to circulate throughout your entire body. Let's take a moment to thank your heart. And for anyone who desires, in this moment, I'm going to invite you to simply say hello to your heart. And if you feel called, you may ask for a message, something you need to know for today that your heart would like you to know. When you're ready, go ahead and take another big, long, slow, deep breath. And when you're ready, gently open your eyes. So this is something we can just, a space we can stay in, right? You bring these emotions with you and they're always available for you. And this is a wonderful technique that you can do in the moment. Perhaps if you're having an argument with your spouse or you're getting frustrated or flustered, you can simply place your hands on your heart or bring your attention just to your heart. You could be having an argument with someone and completely change the tone by just bringing your awareness to your heart and taking a couple deep breaths of appreciation. As your energy shifts, the energy of everyone around you is going to shift as well.
Cassidy said, holy crap, I literally felt myself energetically swell. Thanks, Lindsay. Carolyn,
That's so beautiful.
the smell of a tea light candle burning in a mini pumpkin. That's so good.
Oh,
I actually, I was picturing Jupiter at first because I'm so grateful for Jupiter right now.
Yes.
He is like so amazing. So I was grateful for Jupiter. And the message that my heart gave me was that my tenderness is my power. You know, that my tenderness is my leadership, that my tenderness allows my leadership. You know, I'm a Libra, I'm in love with love, you know? And so like the more that I go into my heart space, the more lovey I become. And that's where my power lies, you know? And yeah, that gets to feel empowering rather than unsafe or vulnerable, you know?
Yes. Yes. Oh, I love that so much. So
Thank
beautiful.
you so much for that. Let us
Oh,
know
my
how you
pleasure.
guys are feeling. If anybody else wants to share, we definitely welcome you for that. And I have one other question for you, Lindsay, before we
Please.
close up, which is just like, this is so beautiful, and it's a reminder, right? And we can set mindfulness bells and things like that to remind us to do this at first if we need to. But I know that, you know, we talked about kind of those small moments, also some bigger moments, but those small moments that you can tune into this. So for people who feel like, well, I can do this in the little moments, but it's hard for me to bring this in and like really call in my desires and my heart space and what's ultimately coming to me for the big things. Like what would your thoughts be on that?
Oh my gosh. Again, I think I have an entire module on this in one of my programs, but
Yeah.
in my, you've done my launch program, so I'll talk about this a little bit. In this program, I talk about the celebrating the sprinkles and so a lot of us want those big moments. We want the rain of love from a partner we desire, the rain of income from our business. I usually work with entrepreneurs, so I'm used to talking about money, right? So we want the rain, whether it's our house, something, right? Like a house, love, money, whatever it is. And the universe is going to bring us where your focus goes, energy flows, right? And what tends to happen like right before a rainstorm starts coming? You start experiencing little tink, 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 little sprinkles.
Yeah.
So the thing that I always say is, right, what you celebrate, you're going to get more of. And you're not going to be able to attract the rain if you can't celebrate the sprinkles. So celebrate those sprinkles as if they're the rain.
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah.
Because celebration really internalizes it. It really internalizes it for us, you know? Like, yeah, I have a $22 workshop tomorrow for the full moon. And every single time a $22 charge comes in, I've been sending people messages. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so exciting because I'm so excited about this workshop. Like the energy around it is so expansive and so like, there's so much momentum. And so I literally feel excited every single time and honor that, like go with it, allow yourself to express it, you know, in whatever way that is. For me, it used to be just eating dark chocolate. Now I just like squeal and dance and sing.
Totally. Totally.
Like, yes.
I do my little happy dances. So.
Yes, exactly.
But yeah, it is so fun. And I think that's so important. And one thing you can do with, it's funny because I almost did this during this exercise, but when you're in this coherent space and you're breathing in appreciation for this thing that you've experienced. You can then, when you start to feel your heart blossom, you can then visualize the thing you want as if it's already yours. And have
Yes.
appreciation for it. See it in your mind's eye or your subconscious, wherever you do your visualizing from. See it in your heart space as if that's is already your life. And feel and express gratitude for that. Yeah.
That's one of the things that I loved about your, I think it's the Heal Yourself Rich journal. Is that what it's called? Or is it called something else?
It's a Journal Yourself Rich.
Journal Yourself Rich. Thank you.
Yes.
That's what I loved about that too, because you really guided us through. It's like being thankful for, as you're thankful for things, like inserting, I'm also thankful for what's coming to me, what I desire, as if it's already here, and kind of mixing that in, because your subconscious mind doesn't know the difference, number one, and energetically you're calling it forward. So I loved the ability to consistently practice that through that journal. Just giving you a little plug there, friends. Like,
Thank you.
seriously, it's such a good exercise.
Yeah, I love that one. I love it.
Yeah. So good. And you can apply it to any area. It doesn't have to be about money. You know, it's journaling yourself rich in abundance of anything, love, connection, health, you know, whatever it is.
Yeah. Whatever you want. And there's prompts in that journal too. I have it in, oh my gosh, I actually have it right here. So I can do a little plug here. Journal Yourself Rich. It's a workbook. And this has transformed people's lives all over the world. Like I just published it because it was my own personal stuff that I'd done for a couple of years. And I thought, well, maybe people would like it. And it blows my mind every single time the results that I get, but it's available on Amazon if anybody wants to go get it in Kindle or paperback. And it'll guide you through these very simple, very powerful processes to manifest and to call in whatever it is you want. But there is a prompt in there as well to write the story of how it happened. And that's one of my favorite ones. And, you know, it almost never happens the way we think it is, but you were putting that energy there and we're feeling the wonderful feelings of it already happening. And that it just, you know, it collapses time, it brings it to you. And it's so fun.
I also really like that because when you're writing the story of how it's coming to you or how it came to you, as if you already have it, you're also loving the process instead of just focusing on the results and where you need to get or desire to get. It's like, no, I'm actually loving the process, which is key to manifestation. So I love that. I think that's just like an extra bonus with that exercise.
Yeah. It's so fun. It's so fun.
So if people want to be held by you in this yummy way on a consistent basis, how can they find you, my friend?
You can find me on Facebook, Lindsay Dam, and come join I have a really beautiful, intimate community called Heal Yourself Rich. I used to have a very large Facebook group and I decided to cut that down and create just a very intimate, it's a beautiful container. So you're welcome to connect with me there inside Heal Yourself Rich, which is a free Facebook community. And I'm also Heal Yourself Rich on Instagram as well. Those are my main platforms, but yes.
Cool. And my team's sharing the links right now in the comments. So anybody who needs just a quick access point, you can just click right on them and connect with Lindsay. She's always got so much fun stuff going on. Don't you have another mystery offer right now, Lindsay?
I have another mystery offer right now. This has been the funnest thing. So I've been really disrupting how everything goes and creating so many new sparks of energy. And it's just been such a blast for myself and for everybody else. And so I've been doing these mystery offers where I only give a tiny little tidbit of information. But I have a mystery offer happening right now. And if the concept of collapsing time, you're like, I don't know what that is, but I know that I want this. Or maybe you've been hearing about it, but you have no idea how to use it. This mystery offer is for you. Or maybe if you're just tired of your manifestations taking a long time and you want them to happen now, then, you know, this is the thing for this mystery offer. It's currently $111. You're going to have lifetime access to it. I'm not going to tell you what it is, but I am going to say that it's happening on Thursday. And you will have details the moment you sign up for it. So you can certainly reach out to me.
The link
What's
is already
that?
up in my browser. The link's already up in my browser.
Oh, it is? Oh my gosh.
I'm just like keeping it open right now because it's been such this Jupiter energy, it's been fantastic, but like the momentum is just like, you said you had such a busy day yesterday. I felt the same way. I feel like I had nothing on my calendar, but I was so busy all day. And I was just like, what happened? This energy is unbelievable. But yeah, it's still open. I haven't closed it. So I'm excited.
So it's going to be so fun. It's going to be so fun. I'm so excited for it.
So much for joining us today. This was beautiful. I am so grateful that people got access to your energy and to this lovely skill. Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me. I know this is not the normal day you do these, and I appreciate you accommodating for my schedule and my illness when I was sick before. But this is so perfect. Perfect timing, perfect energy as always. And thank you so much for having me here.
You're welcome. All right, friends. So you're welcome, Diane. Everybody's saying thank you. And
you're so welcome. Oh my gosh. Come connect. I can't see your comments on here, but come connect with me. I would love to just like meet you, say hello. Let me know where you found me. And yeah, it would be an honor to connect with you all.
Yeah, send her a message, guys. And then I will see you on Monday at 12:30 p.m. Eastern for the next episode of Heal Profoundly and Enduringly. Thanks again. Bye, friends.